was a little girl, afraid of the big wide world.
Hi, welcome to this video. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nisa Pakaya. I am a student of Informatics Engineering at the Manado State Polytechnic. In this video, I will discuss about graphic design to fulfill the assignment of English sources for my lecture, Mener Vincent. We will discuss about what is graphic design and type of graphic and some blog reference or graphic design sites. What is graphic design? Also known as a communication design, is the art and the practice of planning and projecting ideas and experience with visual and textual content. The form it takes can be physical or virtual and can include image, words, or graphic. The experience can take place in an instant or over a long period of time. The work can happen at any scale, from the design of a single postage stamp to a national postal signing system. It can be intended for a small number of people, such as a one-off or limited edition book or exhibition design, or can be seen by millions. As with interlinked digital and physical content of an international news organization, it also be for any purpose, whether commercial, educational, cultural, or political. Do you want to search for and download free fonts, free icons, free mockups, free background image, and graphic design tutorials? There are many ways to find source of reference, inspiration, and learning graphic design. One of them is to visit and read the top most complete and popular graphic design sites or blogs found on the internet. The famous graphic design site displays a wide variety of graphic design articles, download free fonts, design tutorials, or free buys that are useful as a reference, inspiration, and materials for designing. For example, you need unique forms or letters. Just try searching for graphic design blogs that provide free font download and can be accessed at any time. Graphic design blog sites that we often encounter on the internet are developed in independent individuals and commercial companies. The existence of a graphic design blog site is certainly very helpful for people who want to find inspiration or learn graphic design, especially when you need a design idea or inspiration. Reading popular graphic design blog sites can be a smart choice. 10. Type of graphic. Graphic design uses visual composition to solve problems and communicate ideas through typography, imagery, color, and form. There's no way to do that, and that's why there are several types of graphic design, each with their own area of specialization. Though they often overlap, each type of a graphic design requires a specific set of skills and design technique. Many designers specialize in a single type, others focus on a set of related similar types. But because the industry is constantly changing, designers must be adaptable and lifelong learners so they can change or add specialization throughout their careers. Whether you are an aspiring designer or seeking design service for your business. Understanding the 8 types of graphic design will help you find the right skill for the job. Designs that's to be experienced in an instant is the easiest to recognize. Designs arrange type, form, and image on poster, advertisements, package, and other print matter, as well as information visualization and graphic for newspaper and magazine. This kind of design is often confused with illustration. But while an illustrator creates or draws an image in response to an idea, a designer combines illustration, photograph, and type in order to communicate an idea. One way to understand this is to consider the difference between a furniture maker and interior designer. One makes a specific object for a specific purpose, while the other thinks about how all of the objects and surface of a room create an environment for the person moving through it. Good illustrators are often capable designer and novice, making it harder to distinguish between the two practice. Designs that's to be experienced in an instant is the easiest to recognize. Designs arrange type, form, and image on poster, advertisements, package, and other print matter, as well as information visualization and graphic for newspaper and magazine. This kind of design is often confused with illustration. But while an illustrator creates or draws an image in response to an idea, a designer combines illustration, photograph, and type in order to communicate an idea. One way to understand this is to consider the difference between a furniture maker and interior designer. One makes a specific object for a specific purpose, while the other thinks about how all of the objects and surface of a room create an environment for the person moving through it. Good illustrators are often capable designer and novice, making it harder to distinguish between the two practice. Okay, on the first, there is visual identity graphic design. A brand is a relationship between a business or organization and its audience. A brand identity is how the organization communicates its personality, tone, and essence, as well as memorize emotion and experience. Visual identity graphic design is exactly that, the visual elements of brand identity that act as the face of a brand to communicate those intangible qualities through image, shapes, and color. And second, there's marketing and advertising graphic design. When most people think of a graphic design, they think of designs created for marketing and advertising. Companies depend on successful marketing efforts to tap into their target audience decision-making process. Great marketing and Great marketing engage people based on the wants, needs, awareness, and satisfaction they have about a product, service, or brand. Science people will always find visual content more engaging. Graphic design helps organizations promote and communicate more effectively. Marketing designers work with company owners, directors, managers, marketing professionals to create assets for marketing strategies. They might work alone or as a part of in-house or creative team. Designer can specialize in a specific type of a media, vehicle wraps or magazine, for example, or create a broad assortment of collateral for print, digital, and beyond. While traditionally print-centered, this role has a ground to include more digital assets, especially for use in content marketing. Example of marketing: postcard and flyer magazine and poster, banners, and infographic brochure. Signage and a trade show display email marketing templates, PowerPoint presentation, mini social media, banners and graphic, banner and regathering image for website and blogs. And the third, there is user interface graphic design. A user interface or UI is how a user interacts with a device or application. UI design is the process of designing interfaces to make them easy to use and provide a user-friendly experience. A UI includes all of the things a user interacts with the screen, keyboard, and mouse. But in the context of a graphic design, UI design focuses on the user visual experience and the design of a screen graphic elements like buttons, minis, micro interaction, and more. It's a UI designer job to balance aesthetic appeal with the technical functionality. Example of user web page design is game interface application design. UI designers must be team players backed by both serious graphic design skills and an excellent understanding of UI or UX principle, responsive design, and web development. In addition to graphic application, they need knowledge of programming language like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, of course. And the fourth, there is publication graphic design. Publications are long-form pieces that communicate with an audience through public distribution. They have traditionally been a print medium, think books, newspaper, magazine, and catalogs. However, there's recently been a significant rise in digital publishing. Graphic designers that especially in publication work with editors and publishers to create layouts with carefully selected typography and accompanying artwork, which includes photography, graphic, illustration. Publication designer may work as a freelancer, as a creative. Publication designer must possess excellent communication, layout, and organizational skills. In addition to graphic design expertise, they need to understand color management, printing, and digital publishing. And the five, there is packaging graphic design. Most products require may work as a freelancers, as creative agency members, or in-house as a part of a publishing company. Example of publication graphic design is a book, newspaper, newsletter, directories, annual reports, magazines, and catalogs. Publication designer must possess excellent communication, layout, and organizational organizational skills, in addition to graphic design expertise. The 5. There is purchasing graphic design. Most products require some form of a packaging to protect and prepare them for storage, distribution, and sale. But packaging design can also communicate directly to consumer, which makes it an extremely valuable marketing tool. Every box, bottle, and a book, every can container or canister is a chance to tell a story of a brand. Packaging designers create concept, develop mock-ups, and create the print-ready files for a product. This requires expert knowledge of a print process and a keen understanding of industrial design and manufacturing. Because packaging design touches so many disciplines, it's not uncommon for designers to find themselves creating other assets for a product, such as a photography, illustration, and visual identity. Packaging designer may be a jack of all trades or specialize in a specific type of packaging or a specific industry. Their work requires top-notch conceptual and problem-solving skills in addition to a strong working knowledge of a print and industrial design. They must be flexible to meet the demands of a client, marketer, and a manufacturer, and be aware of current trends. And the 6th, there is motion graphic design. Simply put, motion graphic are graphics that are in motion. This can include animation, audio, typography, imagery, video, and other effects that are used in online media, television, and film. The medium's popularity has skyrocketed in recent years as technology improved and video content became king. Motion graphic designer is a somewhat new specialty for designer, formerly reserved for TV and film. Technological advances have reduced production time and cost, making the art form more accessible and affordable. Now, motion graphic can be found across all digital platforms, which has created all sorts of new areas and opportunities. Motion graphic designers begin by developing storyboards and then bring their concept to life with animation, video, and traditional art. Depending on the industry, a store working knowledge of marketing, coding, and 3D modeling can be defined asset. And the 7th, there is environmental graphic design. Environmental graphic design visually connects people to place to improve their overall experience by making space more memorable, interesting, informative, or easier to information or easier to navigate. And the last, there is art and illustration for graphic design. Graphic art and illustration are often seen as being the same as a graphic design. However, they are each very different. Designers create compositions to communicate and solve problems. Graphic artists and illustrators create original artwork. Their art takes a number of forms, from fine art to decoration to storytelling illustration. Even though graphic art and illustration are not technically types of graphic design, so much is created for commercial use within the the context of graphic design that you can talk about one without the others. Example of art graphic design is teaser design, graphic patterns for textile, motion graphic, stock image, graphic novels, video games, website, comic books, album art, book covers, picture books, infographic, technical illustration, and concept art. Okay, for the conclusion, graphic design is a work or art that is free for us to express as we like, and we can do it by expressing the pattern of the image, and in the picture we can design the image. From the visualization of the entire design that has been created adapt to the characteristic of a children, which the author used more colors to attract the attention of consumer, in the case children, and to create a colorful impression. Besides that, the more author used several types of typography that are considered more able to attract the attention of children, such as J.K. Jumbo, Comic Sans, Bad Spirit, Disco, and Enjoy the Show, as humans who live in modern times, of course not separate from the development of media and technology. Therefore, the idea of creating a t-shirt design this to arise. By using the CorelDRAW Explore application, the creation of this design was realized, even though it did require expertise specifically to be able to operate this application properly and maximally. Thanks for watching. May be useful, and sorry if there are still a lot of mistakes in saying in the sentence.